No, CB, I know I'm guilty of being one of those Steeler fans. I'm on the other side of things. Used to play, and now I'm a true fan. Whenever there's a elite wide receiver that seems to be uh, on the trading block, I'm on social media asking for them to come on over to Pittsburgh. I know certain things can't happen, but it's always nice to think about what you can get. We got another big name in DC and Terry McLaurin, who has recently requested a trade because he couldn't get the deal worked out in the time fashion that he would like to. Now, he's not the only one. There's another guy in Micah Parsons in Dallas who also has requested a trade. Now, how much salt do you think these trade requests hold? Do you think it's just a negotiating tactic? Do you think these guys really want to leave and have been fed up with the team and the way negotiations have gone so far?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, when you look at the sound bites, you're like they're fed up with the team, but they love their players that they're playing within the organization. It just comes down to the business side of it. So you have to kind of position yourself in that particular manner when you're asking for a trade. It's only because they're not paying you what you feel that you deserved in this particular case. And when you see Terry and what he's going through, his benchmark is DK. The numbers are what they are with the contract. He wants to get to that particular point. If we took out the numbers, absolutely Terry would be here, or at least there'd be inquiries as it relates to him being here. But dollars are going to play because if you do trade for him, you ultimately got to pay him, and it's really hard to justify playing two players at the same position, that same dollar amount. That is very tough to do. Can you massage the numbers in the manner to make it work? Sure, but it's just hard to see him here at this particular point.
Yeah, I don't think it's realistic. But what kind of with Terry approaching his year 30, or I think he might be 30 already, or he turns 30 this year. If there were a theoretical trade, how much do you think a player like Terry McLaurin would require?
I think that number, it kind of goes down the longer you wait as you get to the regular season. But it's Omar Khan has been really good at projecting those things. Would you give up a second, maybe a fourth? Who
Right.
knows? I'm not the general manager, so it's hard for me to say. But anytime that you have an opening in this manner, and when people are talking about the number two position, remember we went through this last year when Brandon Ayuk was with the 49ers and all throughout every week throughout
Mhm.
training camp he was always linked to the Steelers. So this is something that we're still hearing at this particular manner. There was a report that was out there that said the Steelers did inquire about what that could potentially look like. Now, whether how true that was or not, we don't know. But those are just rumors that are out there at this particular point. But somebody has to step up, and you're hoping that that happens this weekend. That will kind of dismiss some of the talk that we're talking about now.
Right.
But who knows at this particular point.
Right. Heck of a player, Ohio State product. Another Big Ten guy, Micah Parsons from Penn State. Uh, when you think about these elite pass rushers and how important and how impactful they are on the game, there probably isn't another position group outside the quarterback that has as big of an impact on the game. And so therefore their asking prices are always up towards the top as far as players are concerned. Would you give up 2 first-round draft picks and then pay a Micah Parsons $45 million a year if you were a team that needed a pass rusher?
Yeah, if you needed a pass rusher, you better, when you want to make those calls and be prepared to give up 2 first rounders for that. So that's something that, because he's so young and so talented, that's the conversations that you have to have. But again, that's Dallas's fault for waiting. They could have signed him last year, not worry about this. But the moment that Miles Garrett, the moment that TJ Watt signed their contract, guess what? His asking price went up. So
Right.
these are things that ultimately happens. But when you see the skill set of what Micah Parsons brings, he is scary to watch. And I know you as an offensive lineman, you want to watch him film and like, man, how would you prepare for that when you
Right.
watch that guy? What comes to mind when you're watching him play?
No, I watch these cats. I'm happily retired, CB. I don't need to be out there trying to black any of these young cats, brother. But when you think about Micah Parsons, he's perennially ranked as one of the top pass rushers in the league, along with the TJ Watt and Miles Garrett. I think we can both agree those three belong in the top five, no matter how you slice it. Who are some other names? If you had to pick your top five, give me the order too. I'm putting you on the spot. Give me your top five pass rushers in the league.
Wow. I mean, of course, you're going with TJ, you're going with Miles Garrett up there. I'm putting Max Crosby out there too.
Right.
He
Yeah.
is really good. Of course, Eastern Michigan got to show them love. This guy has represented the university in great ways, so we're super proud of him. I would probably think one of the Bosa brothers that you put in there. I think they would be in there, and then I think fifth is just kind of
What
it's a
about
toss up.
Hendrickson? Where do you put him at?
He could
Do you put him
I
or
could slide him
something
into
next?
the fifth only because of the numbers that he put up the last 2 years. He's been consistent that way. Um, but again, that defense was bad with him in the defense, even though he
Right.
put up his numbers. So, it's just kind of, you could say the same thing with a couple of the other players that we mentioned as well. I'm not trying to throw shade at him in any manner whatsoever. It's just a matter that when you look at the fifth slot, there's a lot of people that you can put into that are deserving to be there as well. But to your point, we could put Henderson in there for the sake of conversation. But it's tough because when you look at Micah's situation, you look at Henderson's situation, both of them are under contract. Very
Right.
hard to move when you're under contract. You can say, hey, trade me. But if the owners don't want to trade you, you're not going anywhere. Be prepared to play that season or sit out and lose a free agent year or lose a credited season for free agent. So it makes it even tougher to leave at the end of the season. So I expect both of those guys to be standing exactly where they are on their current teams playing this season out.
I agree. And if we had to say where Terry is going to be to start the year, do you think he's going to stay in Washington as well?
I think Terry will be in Washington as well.
Okay.
Do I see them working out maybe a contract extension in 1 year, maybe putting some more money into this particular contract to keep him happy for this season and then let the business happen out after this season? Yeah, that is a possibility. But I expect Terry to be in Washington this year as well.